Ice ridges on lower nose fuselage. On December 2, 2021, an Airbus A321 Neo, flying from Magadan to Novosibirsk, experienced an unreliable airspeed event just after takeoff. The flight crew attempted to return to Magadan twice, but discontinued both approaches. The aircraft landed safely after a diversion to Irkutsk, 4.5 hours after departure. Initial information from the Russian aviation safety regulator stated that, after takeoff, all 3 air data systems malfunctioned. On landing at Irkutsk, evident ice deposits were present, including ice ridges on the lower nose fuselage. The July 2018 issue of Airbus Safety First publication included information on the possible effect on air data from ice ridges on the lower nose fuselage. It described an event where an Airbus A320 was parked overnight in snow conditions. The outside air temperature was -5 degrees Celsius. A 2-step de-icing and anti-icing was performed. The fuselage was not de-iced. The crew proceeded to take off, and at liftoff, the flight controls law reverted to alternate law and the autoflight, auto-thrust off, caution triggered. 12 seconds after liftoff, the flight director, characteristic speeds, TLU function and autopilot availability were lost. At the end of the ECAM takeoff inhibition phase, passing 1,500 feet, 3 ECAM alerts were displayed. Nav, ADR disagree. Flight controls, alternate law. And autoflight, rudder travel limiter system. Flight data recorder analysis showed a discrepancy between the ADRs. Using a simulated aerodynamic model, it was seen that the ADR speeds were underestimated between 10 to 40 knots. The investigation concluded that buildup of ice ridges was present on the lower nose fuselage, in front of the pitot probes. These ice ridges created airflow perturbations, resulting in the airspeed computed value being lower than the actual airspeed. Observe how the airflow is disturbed when flowing over the ice ridges, before reaching the pitot probes. Ice ridges in front of the pitot probes, during flight, can occur when the lower nose fuselage is not de-iced at all or not completely de-iced. Maintenance and flight crew should look out for potential presence of ice ridges in cold weather, especially for the first flight of the day, or after an extended stay on ground. Another possible cause of ice ridges is when snow falling on a heated windshield melts, and water running down from the windshield refreezes in ridges on the lower nose fuselage. Observe how the snow melts at the heated windshield, and refreezes as ice ridges, on the lower nose fuselage. The lower nose fuselage must be clear of all frozen contaminants prior to departure, to avoid potential unreliable airspeed. Even thin ice ridges must be removed. Some key points to remember are: be aware of conditions that are favorable to the formation of ice ridges on the lower nose fuselage. Perform all external checks and de-icing, as per the Flight Crew Operating Manual and the Aircraft Maintenance Manual. Remove all ice ridges from the lower nose fuselage before departure. And be familiar with the unreliable airspeed procedure. For e-learning customizations of this presentation and integration into your LMS, contact us at contact@aviascribe.com.